And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. There is a 63-page report by the World Economic Forum. Somebody sent me this thing and says, can I look it over? Oh, sure, I'll look it over. I went over about 40 pages of it, and it lists the cryptos, what cryptos are working. It basically lists which cryptos are working. It's not coming out and just telling you, like I've shown you in other articles where they just come out and tell you. But this 63-page report is going to show you what the world is up to. And it's all the stuff we've been talking about on this show. Tokenization, institutions getting into crypto, institutions tokenizing real estate. It gets into all these things, and on most of the time, it all goes back to a lot of the ISO cryptos. There is some mention of Ethereum and some ERC. You got to have that in there. One of the biggest things the 63-page talks about is interoperability. And then once you mention that word, interoperability, you kind of know where all this goes. It's not just a matter of what crypto platform is the fastest. Some of them are like, oh, this one's faster than XRP, like Lightning Network. Okay. Is it interoperable? No. Oh, damn, right there. See? I'm not saying Lightning's fast. I just came up with that name of a bullshit platform. But you could have any dumb shit platform like the Lightning Network, okay? Chinese got some kind of network that moves 1 million transactions. Okay, that's all good. But these platforms will not work for the world because you're going to have ISO 20022 cryptocurrencies, as I call them. That's a messaging standard. I don't need to be schooled on. They're not actually ISO crypto. Shut up. I got new people here. I'm not, and also I'm not trying to understand all the technical shit. I'm here to make money, and that's it. Like, the least I have to try to work to understand shit, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to get a lesson in coding and how to code and do all this shit. I'm not doing that. I don't care. I'm not a banker. I don't need to know all the banking stuff. I don't need to know tech shit at all. I need to know very basic stuff where average people can understand, because these average people aren't trying to sit there and learn all this fucking lexicon of what is the lexicon of the banking industry? What is the lexicon of the computer? People don't care. I don't. I'm here for the money, and that's it, basically. All righty, then. Joshua Joseph, thank you very much. Really looking forward to this info, Hulk. Yes, thanks for that donation there, buddy. So, mine's Crypto Hulk. I am
I am Zoltar, the great gypsy, and I can see your fortune. Come see it too, no?
Oh, that's Zoltar. He's listening. When XRP is worth, when XRP. Chris Sharp. I'm just looking through the comments here real quick. Zoltar sounds like Crypto Hulk. Oh my God. Yeah, I got this little toy. It doesn't, it's not printing out. Here's the Zoltar toy. It's not printing out. There is the fortunes right here. Now, I'll just show you real quick. It has little tokens that go in this slot right there. They're really small. So I can put it on.
I see you over there. Yes, you. Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune.
Whoa.
I am Zoltar, the great gypsy, and I can see your fortune. Come see it too, no?
So it has this right here is...
What are you waiting for? Come on over.
That's the motion
For a small
sensor.
fee, Zoltar will give you a wealth of wisdom.
The little tokens are small.
Your fortune is mine for the telling, and yours for the hearing. I see you over there. Yes, you. Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune.
So then you put the coin in here. I'll show you. I started the show early anyway. The coins are like really small. I'm like, whoa. You don't want to drop these suckers. The coin is that big. Okay. So let's say, I'll just put it in.
You may have heard this, but Zoltar is here to tell you you can believe it. Age is simply a matter of mind. If you don't mind, then my friend, it doesn't matter. So go on, be carefree like a little baby. But first, give Zoltar a little money, and I will give you a fortune.
And all he does is beg for money. That's what this guy does. He'll be assisting me today and giving out free financial advice, by the way. Even in the UK, Zoltar was big. Zoltar, give me your money and I'll give you a fortune. All right. Hold on. My name's Crypto Hawk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. Don't buy anything I tell you to buy today. Don't sell anything I tell you to sell. Don't do anything. Don't even watch the show. Everything on the show is a lie. It's designed to get you financially destroyed. Before every show and every show I've ever done, I use hardcore drugs and any kind of drugs I can get my hands on. Cocaine, heroin, marijuana, methamphetamine, roofies, angel dust. That's the best stuff. PCP, you name it. And I drink about 2 gallons of vodka before every show, and then I'm ready to go. Next, normally I get about 1.3 million views per month. YT's got me down to 620,000. I'd appreciate if you could do the following. It would really help the channel. In every top chat, put a sentence in there. After every show, in the comments, put a sentence. Share this program with as many people as you can, including your own email. And that'll help interaction. I'm trying to help you interact, not manipulate any algo, and I won't say rhythm. So go ahead and do that. Make a playlist of 8 videos and then just hit play every day. If your phone rings and you don't want to listen to the volume, use this keyboard, hit the down button. When you use the YT bottom left corner sound thing, they know that you're manipulating the algo. Okay. So what you have to do is, of course, you're playing this the whole time at home and you're sitting there watching it. Okay. That's what I intend. My intent is to have you sit there for 8 hours a day and watch the show. But let's just say you don't want to listen to the volume because maybe the phone rings. Then that's just where you hit your mute button on there. Okay. And it's all good. I'd appreciate that. Now we're going to get into today. This is a different kind of a show. I'm not going to be going through like 5, 6 different articles or something. We're going to stick probably on one topic. So what we're going to do today is what Crypto Hawk calls an old school deep dive. Okay. I used to do these pretty frequently. They work out great if you have like a ton of people. But anyhow, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the report. It's a 63-page report. For those of you that are driving or juggling sharp knives, let's say, and you can't really do much else than that, then I'll just be reading off stuff and you can listen. What we're going to go over today is a deep dive. And this is important because I'm going to show you how now who are they? It's the World Economic Forum. And they pretty much determine how the world's going to go. The World Economic Forum is a group of people, and they're probably voluntold by the rich families of the world how stuff's going to have to go down. So the World Economic Forum are the people that determine how to get it done. So the five rich families talk to the people at the World Economic Forum and say, we want this to happen by 20 years from now or 30. Then the World Economic Forum then delegates that to different places in the world to get stuff done. And I know this is a very simplified way of how the world works, and there's probably there's way more things I just don't even understand, but that's pretty much how it goes down. So we're going to look at how the World Economic Forum is going to roll out the plans of the top 5 families of the world. We're going to see what cryptos are being used, what's going to be the future, what can we look forward to in the future, you know, what technologies or what methods of payments or how's money going to move in the future. That's what we're going to go over. You're going to know when you watch this next 50 minutes, and I'll keep it at an hour. You're going to know over the next 50 minutes what cryptos are going to be changing the world. Okay. Now there's going to be some that are come up and sneak up on us. That's just how it goes. But we're at least going to know by the end of the show, if you got certain crypto holdings, are they talked about here or are they not talked about? So here we go. This thing is going to be some work. Let me tell you. Let's go to this right here. Let me do a copy paste. You know, I don't want to just mention the cryptos. That's what a lot of people want. Crypto, just tell me which ones they are. That doesn't do any good. Here's why. Because when bad shit happens, or when there's a delay, or whatever, those are the first people like, why is it taking so long? Crypto Hawk, I just read an article. Ripple Labs is going to buy fucking Circle. That means they're not going to use the XRP anymore. Crypto Hulk, and it's like, these are the same motherfuckers, the ones that only got 5 or 6 minutes that just want to know the names of the crypto. Those are the people that get fucking wrecked. You want to know why? Because they don't understand what the fuck they're investing in. Oh, they think they do and this and that. No, I put in work. So that's why I'm not worried. I don't care tomorrow if the whole, what they call crypto market just dumps. It doesn't bother me because I know what I've read this report. I know what cryptos are going to be used to build the future of the world. Other people just give me the names. But when you don't, it's like the Cliff Notes. Let's say you have a test on the War of 1812 in the United States, okay? You don't really care about the War of 1812. You just want to pass the test. I understand. I've been there. So what you're going to do is you could pay somebody and they could take the test for you and they could have a little microphone in their Google glasses or whatever they're wearing. And they could read the test question and answer it. Okay, and then at the end of the day, they could write some of the questions, or they could just write the answers too along with it, and then you'd know how to study and pass the test of the War of 1812. Now, a year later, 2 years later, someone could ask you about the War of 1812. You have no idea. Because all you did is study the Cliff Notes. That didn't really make sense. You understand a question, answer, and then you could memorize maybe the question, answers, but you don't understand the whole concept. That's the problem with Cliff Notes or paying somebody to take a test for you and they give you answers, but then you don't really know how to utilize. You could answer the test, but you can't. I mean, God, imagine if you were a doctor and you cheated on operational procedure. Like, oh shit, right? That's kind of the same with this crypto. So let's take a look. I gave you this page here, and you can click a button that says download PDF. I can send, I'm going to send right now the PDF. Okay, we're at the PDF. I'm on page 1. If you look to the right side, you should have, well, I got Adobe. I pay to have Adobe. You can look at this for free, but I've got the AI features. I pay $6 a month so I can type in an AI question. It could scan the whole document for me and shit like that. Let me know when everybody's on page 1 and I'll get started. So everybody's got to get it downloaded and get to page 1. And then once I see that a lot of people are, you could put ready, like I'm ready, or a thumbs up or whatever you want, and then I'll start. Okay. Let's go ahead and start here. So I'm on page 1. They're talking about this asset tokenization. What have I been? Okay. Over the past 3 years, to stop all the hype, I said, look, you got 2 things that definitely need to happen before we're rich. Global crypto regulations, right? And then global tokenization. What are they showing here? They're showing which looks kind of like a globe or something, or a circle. But let's even back it up even more. If we look, okay, now what I'm going to do is this. I'm not going to put in the top chat all my evidence, because this is going to take fucking 4 hours to do, okay? For those of you that watch my channel, you're going to have to trust me when I tell you that's a Ripple partner. They're working with, because I'm not showing all the evidence. It's not going to work. So if you've watched my show enough, you know all the connections, or you'll remember some of them when I tell you. There might be a time when I make a mistake or two. Hey, that happens, okay? CryptoHawk, that's not a Ripple partner. I thought it was. If you look at the totality of what I'm showing you, it doesn't fucking matter. If I'm off by 1 company or 2, I'm going to show you like probably 15 companies. I'm going to show you concepts that are happening. And somewhere along the way, there will be mistakes, and that's just how it goes. Okay, we've got the World Economic Forum. Okay, I already explained who they are. Who helped them make this? Accenture. That's a Ripple partner. I mean, we could stop right now, but let's keep going. You don't want to sit around here for an hour listening to me tell the best jokes in the world, do you? So already we know, in collaboration with Accenture, that's one of the biggest fucking payments companies in Europe or the world. One of the biggest, I'd say in the top 10. They're a Ripple partner. The title of this, they're talking about right from the beginning, is tokenization. Now, Securitize is probably one of the biggest players in tokenization. That's a Ripple partner, and they're working with BlackRock. So we can already see tokenization. What does it says? The next generation of value exchange. I want you to hear this. You don't have to believe in crypto, and that's A-okay. You can believe whatever you want, in the Easter Bunny and stuff. Hey, that's great. Little kids believe in that. Even though it's your parents leaving money. My parents, I'd leave a tooth under the pillow, and I would get drugs, not money. I would get a fat cocaine rock that big for a tooth when I was 8 years old. Break it up into 30 parts, sell it at school, drive around in the fanciest bike in the whole school. Got my silver chain. So we got this right here, asset tokenization. Let's scroll down. through page 1. This document is published by the World Economic Forum as a contribution to a project, insight, area, or interaction. They're trying to show that they worked with other partners to do this. Let's go to page 3. First paragraph says, financial markets are evolving. Financial markets are evolving to meet growing demands for speed, efficiency, and connectivity. This is what's important to understand. Just because a certain crypto platform is faster than Ripple or Stellar, that shit doesn't matter. Okay. Well, CryptoHolic, this one's running at 10,000 transactions per second, and XRP is only doing 1,500. Who the fuck cares? It's about connectivity. If your I don't care if your platform runs 10 gazillion gigawatts per second. If it's not interoperable and you can't connect it to everybody else, see, look, everybody doesn't want to use your money. China wants to run some kind of platform, but then you have to use their money. Well, no one wants the fucking Chinese money. And no offense, but nobody wants the Canadian money. Maybe a lot of people want the American money, but eventually, but the fact is, every country wishes its money was like the golden child, okay? It's not going to happen. So, and Bitcoin is great. But guess what? I don't want Bitcoin. You know why? Because it's not backed by anything. So here's where the problem comes. Is your crypto interoperable, fast, reliable, this, that? How much does it cost to set it? There's all these things that come in. So the World Economic Forum looks at speed. How efficient is it? Proof of work is not even efficient at all. Think about it. It's a waste of fucking energy. So the article, even though this 63-page report they're not allowed to tell you what cryptos they're going to pick. If you watch CryptoHolic channel, we're going to go over this article and you're going to know from how I'm talking about what they find, you're going to know what crypto they are. Like right off the first fucking, I don't even have to read the first sentence. And I can already tell you it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum with that proof of work stuff or whatever they got going on and the cost of it or whatever. Speed, efficiency, and connectivity. Efficient. How efficient is it? It should take almost no electricity. It should cost almost nothing. Speed's got to be fast. And then connectivity, it has to be interoperable with everything. So we know it's not the Ethereum platform. There may be aspects of Ethereum that it might use, but it will not be the Ethereum platform because it's not connectivity. It's not interoperable. You have to speak Ethereum with Ethereum code. You have to speak Ethereum. With Ripple, the XRP ledger, you can be interoperable. It can be any crypto platform on top and run it utilizing the aspects of the XRP ledger. It can work with every single ledger on the planet. So you know from reading this article what cryptos it's going to be. If we go to the right-hand side page of 3, it talks about at the very top, tokenization enabled by programmable ledgers and smart contracts, unified systems of record. That keyword, the key phrase there, unified systems of record. What platforms do you know that have a unified platform? Well, it would be the Allbridge with Stellar and the XRP ledger. Those two. That's the only two. Okay. In the next paragraph, it says, in this context, the World Economic Forum has collaborated with Accenture, and that's a Ripple partner. Let's scroll down to page 4. We're looking under executive summary. Go down to the first paragraph. It starts off by saying, tokenization presents a transformative digital asset ownership model, fundamentally reshaping global financial markets. So we're going to stop here. We're looking at a transformation that's occurring, okay? Globally, We want to move value. That's what tokenization is you're moving value. It's not just about money. How much is Bitcoin worth? Blah, blah, blah. It's not just moving money. It's moving value. They're talking about transforming. How much has Bitcoin transformed things? Not at all. See, Bitcoin started off as a payments platform, and it quickly, they realized very quickly, this shit doesn't work. Then somebody wanted to call it a store of value. Okay, that means it's like you're done. Okay, it means you don't do anything. You just stand there and look pretty. That's all you do. They're talking about a transformative digital asset ownership model. So something has to transform, or you can move value. Go to the next paragraph. It starts off, this report accesses current access or asset tokenization use case. Asset tokenization use case in issuance, securities, financing, and asset management. You can't do any of these things with Bitcoin, all right? There is no tokenization of the Bitcoin ledger, okay? Next, we're still on page 4. Go to the last paragraph. It starts off, tokenization. See, tokenization keeps coming up, doesn't it? That's what the future is going to have, are tokens. I told you, I can have stock. Let's say I have Porsche stock and I want to go buy a Chevrolet. I can literally, in the future, you're going to take your Google Wallet or whatever it is over to the Chevrolet dealership and utilize Porsche crypto, and they'll convert it into Chevy. That's how the shit's going to work in the future. They're talking about transformative asset tokenization, where you're transforming cryptos, and you can use anything of value to buy anything. That's where this all ends up. This is where Bitcoin is going to fall short, because it's not backed by anything. So all you can do is just send Bitcoins, right? Well, guess what? On the XRP and Stellar ledgers, you could send anything. Ta-da! So why would you want a platform where all you can send is Bitcoin, right? All you can send is Bitcoin. That's not backed by anything. Yikes. Or would you rather just use a platform where you're sending tokens that are backed by real world assets? I mean, this only makes sense. For somebody to buy a Bitcoin, look, I don't care. We're not talking about making money. We're talking about, for this particular instance, why would you have a crypto that's not backed by anything, utilizing a crypto platform that cannot transform anything? It's stuck. What you see is what you get. That's not going to work for the future. People like me, I don't want you to pay me in something that's not backed by anything. If something were to ever happen, that is worthless. Talks about here on page 4, the same last paragraph. Tokenization has the potential to unlock the next generation of what? Value exchange. It also says, need to coordinate regulation, interoperability. So we just finished 4 pages. I'm looking at the comments right now. We just finished 4 pages, and I think you kind of already get a feel for what's going to be on the other 63 pages, right? You kind of know from what I just showed you right there, you know where this project's going. This report that we got, I'm not going to go through all of it because it doesn't make sense. I'm going to go, I got another 30 minutes on this and we're done. We're already halfway done. My Zoltar was on this morning. that's what we got going with this report. Let's go to the next pages, and I'm going to skip page 5, 6. Let's go to page 7. Page 7, it's 1.1. It's called tokenization. Tokenization. This is for brand new people. Tokenization is the process of using a programmable ledger to digitally represent the ownership of an asset, which you cannot do with Bitcoin, financial or otherwise, in a transferable format. Transferable format, okay? If you have a Bitcoin ledger, can you run all kinds of stocks, bonds, and shit, and then shoot at the other people, and they can shoot? No, you can't. You can't do any of that shit. All you can do with Bitcoin right now, at least, is send Bitcoin. That's it. And it doesn't always go fast. That's not even in this report. Bitcoin is not even in this report because it doesn't work. This report is about how is everybody in the world going to move value. That's what this report is about. It's not going to happen with Bitcoin. Bitcoin meets none of what we're talking about right here. Now, this is very simple to understand. I make it as easy as possible as I can. You don't even have to be a computer nerd to understand what I'm saying. You don't have to be a banker. You don't have to be a finance major in college. This is simple shit right here, okay? A token, in this context, represents something of value. A claim on or digitized version of a real asset. A token is a representative of something of value in the real world. A Bitcoin token, what value is that representing in the real, like a real world asset? A Bitcoin token represents what real world asset in token form? Answer, nothing. There you go. Next page. Okay, this one's good. Go to page 9. Go to page 9, left-hand side. It talks about a native token. If you can click on native token, click on backed token, BACKED. Backed tokens digitally represent legal ownership. Okay, so what we're going to have in the future there's going to be backed and unbacked tokens, but the financial world is going to run on a backed token. That's not Bitcoin. Backed tokens digitally represent legal ownership of an immobilized real world asset. So think of a house. If you own a house, you could literally find an organization that'll help you tokenize your house. Those tokens will be put on a blockchain to show value, and then people could use those tokens as money. Certain businesses will take that as money for like a car payment or whatever it might be. And again, your Bitcoin will not be backed by anything. Let's scroll down to the next page on my list. I mean, this whole report, gosh, we could take 4 hours going over it, or it's massive, this whole report. So I only picked out what was interesting that I could find in the short period of time that I had. If we go to page 18, they talk about tokenized assets. And again, that's nothing that Bitcoin will be in. They got asset issuance And we're talking about, so in the future, we're going to have the public, maybe you're going to have governments. Look, everything is going to crypto. That's how this world's going to work on crypto and tokens. The creation of financial instruments across asset classes, public equities, fixed income, sovereign, corporate, municipal alternatives are like private equity, private debt, commodities. These assets are issued in support of capital formation across markets. I'm not going to get into this anymore. This gets so massive. The whole world is going to be built on cryptocurrency. That's what this is showing here. Every area of your life, there will be cryptocurrency involved. It's not just money. Again, cryptocurrencies are tokens of real world assets. You might have your health information, all your medical information on a token. So tokens aren't just money. They're a token is a acknowledged fact that what's on that token, it could be song rights to somebody like an NFT. These tokens are going to take different forms. It's not just cryptocurrency that we know of. Well, let's buy a crypto to get rich. Tokens will run the world. And I don't even completely understand how all this stuff works. Obviously, I know a portion. Let's go to page 25. Let me check the comments here real quick. We're going to page 25. Okay, here is, for those that came in late, there's the link right there. Page 25, this section is corporate bonds. So they're talking about corporate bonds are issued by companies to raise capital, offering varied yields and risk levels, tokenized corporate bonds. So now we're talking about, wow, look, the whole world's going to be crypto. You're going to have corporations, let's say, that want to raise money, okay, so they can build a new factory or something. They're going to issue crypto that people can buy that will represent. I don't understand how all this corporate fundraising and stuff. I'm not a business major in finance and all that, but a business can issue a cryptocurrency to where people buy it, and that's part ownership in whatever factory or something they're trying to build, okay? On page 25, we get into, for example, the Société Générale Forge in France. That's a Ripple partner right there. Okay, so now they're talking about a Ripple partner has demonstrated how tokenized corporate bonds can comply with regulatory requirements. They're already talking about, look, I'm telling you already, I think a lot of this, all this shit was already done like 10 years ago. I've been telling you this for 5 years. I think all this shit was done when they had Ripple Singapore back in 2014. I've already shown you on the DTCC website, Project Ion and shit, they've been working on tokenization for like 10 years. They've said it themselves. So here we have Société Générale is a corporation where they're telling us their crypto is already in line with regulation. My next question would be like, what regulation? Oh, or they're talking about how, look, I'm not getting in this. I got to keep going. Also on page 25, look over to the right where it says municipal bonds. Look right here. The Sixth Digital Exchange announced in May 2024 that it had achieved more than 1 billion. Okay, what do we got with this? The Sixth Digital Exchange, they're a partner of the cryptocurrency platform R3 Corda. R3 is a company. It mixed with the Cordite Society. They created a platform. The crypto they use is XDC. There you go. So there's the next one. They're using it as like a textbook example. The sentence, the paragraph before, they're talking about Societe Generale. That's a Ripple partner. In that same paragraph, Nomura, Nomura, that's a Ripple partner, but I think Nomura is also an R3 XDC partner as well. But I'm not going to check that. I don't got time because I got 60 pages here to go through. I can't be cross-referencing everything I say. I'm scrolling down these pages here. Page 28. Let's go to page 28. It talks about real estate. If you're a real estate agent, you might want to pay attention to this because you can maybe get ahead of things. Real estate as an asset class refers to investment in real property and is characterized by its physical nature. The global real estate market was valued at about $400 trillion in 2022. Tokenization, tokenizing real estate involves converting property ownership into digital tokens. The total value of real estate right now that's in tokenization is $4 billion. Okay, it's between $4 billion and $20 billion. So right now in the world, there is $4 billion worth of real estate tokenized. Just letting you know. For example, a district administration in India digitized 700,000 land records dating back to 1950 on the Avalanche blockchain, addressing challenges associated with requests for information. So what we're seeing is, I wasn't aware of that. So there's a company in India that took 75 years worth of real estate history and put it on the blockchain. Wow. Very interesting, right? To me, it is. Page 29 starts talking about gold and precious metals. They're talking about gold and precious metals. They're going to tokenize it, and it kind of leads me back to Ripple Singapore. I'm not going to show the article. I've done it a million times. Ripple Singapore, 2013. Ripple had gold, silver, cryptocurrency, fiat currency, and more, and it was interchangeable like a crypto exchange. Ripple already has this, and they had a little card, an ATM type card, where you could load up probably whatever we're talking about there, gold, silver, whatever. Ripple had all this back in 2013-14. So this here is talking about tokenizing gold and all that. Ripple had wallets back then where you could store in your wallet gold. So I just thought I'd bring that up. The article doesn't, of course, talk about that. Page 33, it talks about, okay, this starts getting big now. Page 33 starts talking about securities financing, turning securities into crypto that we're going to call tokens. Okay. So remember, crypto is a general term. It means all this stuff, cryptocurrency, but then you can break it down into different types of crypto. You have security tokens, commodity tokens, utility tokens, currency tokens, all kinds of tokens we're going to have in the future. Energy tokens. I have no idea. Whatever you want to create, you'll have those kinds of tokens. On page 33, at the top, second column, it talks about HQLAX. And then it talks about the Canton Global Network, Collateral Network. Now that's going to be R3. When you start talking the Canton Network, that is definitely the XDC crypto. And just for fun, let me... and Deutsche Börse. Everybody's hooked up with the Canton network. I don't want to look it up because that's going to take me away. When they talk about HQLAS, we could get into all this, and I'm not going to. We've already done it already over the years, but this is all XDC. So let me, and on the right side, go under number 3. We're on page 33. It's called Securities and Financing. Go to number 3. It starts off 1, 2, and then 3. And it starts talking about Canton Network and their Euroclear. That's another R3 partner, maybe Ripple. What it does mention is the SIX, that's the SIX digital crypto exchange. That's the world's first crypto exchange. It's running on XDC crypto, just so I put that out there. Next, let's go to next page, 34. 34, okay, it talks about Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton runs on Stellar. Just wanted to let you know that. Franklin Templeton, Benji. Now, it mentions Ondo right here. Ondo's a crypto. It uses a crypto called Axelar to help it. Ondo works for BlackRock. So people that are brand new. Ondo works for BlackRock to tokenize real-world assets. BlackRock, the biggest financial institution in the entire world, that's not a big deal. They wanted to tokenize the United States Treasuries. So they hired a crypto company called Ondo to do this for them, taking treasuries and turning them into the crypto, real world asset crypto. Okay. So BlackRock has a bunch of United States Treasuries. They want to make money off it. So they hired a company called Ondo to tokenize them, to put the real world assets into a crypto form. But Ondo couldn't quite do that because it needs a bridge to move. When you have a crypto, you got to be able to move it all over the place. Okay, it can't just stay on one blockchain only. That shit's not going to work. So it needs an interoperable blockchain, right? So it can move around to all the other places where it needs to go. Well, Ethereum network won't work for that. It doesn't work for really much anything. That's why layers 2 came in. But Ondo's utilizing something called Axelar. It's a cryptocurrency, and Axelar is a bridge. And guess what? It's a Ripple partner. So that's what's on page 34. Let's go to page 35. When you go to page 35, it mentions Stellar and how Franklin Templeton launched on Stellar. If you go to page 35, go to the center, and it shows in 2021, Franklin Templeton launched the Franklin on-chain. So here we have 4 years ago, Franklin Templeton launched on Stellar Network right here, initially on the Stellar Network. The fund, it says here, I love how they put this. Franklin Templeton launched in 2021 on the Stellar blockchain. So if you have Stellar, congratulations. But then the fund expanded to other programmable ledgers, including Avalanche and Polygon. I've already shown you that's all bridge, a Stellar bridge, okay? So Stellar is a blockchain, and these other platforms like Avalanche and Polygon, they're not interoperable. They can't do anything. As long as Polygon stays in the world of Polygon, it works. Somewhat, I guess. And as long as the crypto Avalanche stays in the world of Avalanche, it works. Kinda. Well, when you throw in Stellar and then you put Polygon and Avalanche on top of the Stellar platform, and then that Stellar platform goes on top of the XRP ledger, all the shit works. So the article, this report's kind of misleading. It doesn't tell you that it expanded to other programmable ledgers. What it meant to say is that Avalanche and Polygon needed a bridge, or else they don't function. So they got put on the Stellar platform. That's what the article doesn't tell you. That's what I'm here for, to help you see that. Because again, anybody can read. but you won't see all these connections. That's where my 5 years of experience comes in to show you how all this stuff works. If we look here on the right side of the page, it talks about Fidelity. Oh, shit. Now we're on page 35. On page 35, it mentions in 2024, Fidelity. Now, who's Fidelity? That's a Ripple partner right there. Who is Fidelity? The biggest payment processor in the entire world. Fidelity is working with Connexus, and Connexus is tied into Medico. I've already shown all the, actually, we talked about this JPM coin the other day. Connexus, I already showed you, that's a direct Ripple Medico partner right there. And then, okay, so that's what I just wanted to show you right there on page 39. Let me check the comments real quick before I... Okay, we got 10 minutes left. We're almost done. See, it's painless. Crabman is here. Allbridge. Do you think that at flip date fiat, I'm going to hide that user from the channel because that's not even what I'm talking about. Okay, let me continue on. So we're on page 39. Let's go to page 40. I'm just about done. Wait, no, that's page 35. 36. I think on page 38. Okay, page 39. My bad. Go to page 38. Page 38 talks about traditional financial infrastructure. We're at 4.1. If you look in the second paragraph, it's talking about chain link. They're talking about interoperability. Okay. They're talking about one path of driving network effects and liquidity is the integration. Look at the first paragraph, 4.1, traditional financial infrastructure. One path for driving network effects and liquidity is the integration of tokenized markets with conventional systems. Again, we got to take the old world and bring it into the new world, okay? That's where tokenization comes in. I'll spare you the pain. Go to the second paragraph here. It talks about Chainlink, Ripple partner. It talks about Swift. That's a Ripple partner through Thunes, Thunes. We've already talked about Thunes. They already have wallets. They're already Swift partners. Swift already has like something like 3 billion wallets worldwide. And Thunes, the company called Thunes, already utilizes Swift and Ripple to move money around the world, and they already have wallets. They talk about UBS, Ripple partner. So all this is, I've already shown evidence for everything I just said. I've already shown evidence. Now, on the other side, 4.2, global standards. It talks about Hong Kong Monetary Authority. I'm not going to show you the article. I've shown you a million times. It says Ripple Hong Kong 2014, largest Ripple gateway in Asia. So we already know that Hong Kong's all mixed up with Ripple. Let's scroll down. Page 39. It does mention some ERC on the left here. It says this. ERC20 today remains the dominant token standard, yet it lacks built-in compliance features. It is for this that compliance-led tokens such as ERC 1436, blah, 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 And that's all good, but here's the problem again. Ethereum's not interoperable. So if you're a financial institution and you don't want to run on ERC, that won't work. You know what works? Stellar. That's interoperable with the Allbridge. You know what works? XRP. They got Axelar. That's a bridge. But Ethereum has no bridge. So therefore, it only works. Ethereum works in the world of Ethereum. It can't interoperate with any other thing. You have to speak Ethereum or it doesn't understand. That's where Ripple comes in Allbridge. They have like the master translator. They can speak any kind of code language. So I don't mind when they put in Ethereum shit, but don't make it look like it's interoperable because it ain't. So page 39 talks about interoperability. Okay, so look where it says 4.3, cross-chain interoperability. That's something that Ethereum's not. It talks right here. Interoperability across private and public ledgers ensures seamless asset movement. That is what Ethereum platform is not. Interoperable across public and private ledgers. Next paragraph says interoperability, notably honeypot attacks, which results, you notice all these attacks are always on Ethereum. Just thought I'd put that out there. Interoperability, notably honeypot attacks, which result from non-canonical bridging. To mitigate this, Chainlink comes to the rescue. Ripple partner in collaboration with ANZ Bank, Australia, New Zealand. New Zealand, I already showed you the evidence. International Ripple Business Association, 2014-15. New Zealand Ripple partner. What's so big about Australia? A former Ripple executive named Dilip Rao in 2022 left Ripple, a guy who's been there from day one, left Ripple to work for the country of Australia to set up their financial cryptocurrency system. So that article right there, again, is showing Ripple. We go on the other side of the page of 40. Near the top, it says, though UBS, that's a Ripple partner, though UBS notably has a digital bond on both SDX and SIX. What is that again? The R3 Corda platform stock exchange in Switzerland that runs on cryptocurrency. SIX digital exchange, that's R3 Corda platform. That's the XDC crypto. We go to page 40. The section is 4.5, privacy and compliance. We're on page 40. You look down below the, right down to the bottom right there. It talks about the Bank of International Settlements. Ripple is an actual partner of the Bank of International Settlements. If we look over on the right side of the page, the last paragraph talks about FATFA, FATFS, the Financial Action Task Force. That's a Ripple partner, by the way. Where are we at as far as time? Okay, we got 2 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up there. So we finished about 60%, maybe 66% of the 63-page report. I'm going to hold off right there. There's other cryptos we could get into, and I was going through that fast. Like I'm telling you, for me to read this report and go through it, we're going to need 4 hours. It's a long fucking report. Last night I spent an hour on this report, cherry picking out and highlighting the areas for today. And then I just spent another hour pretty much talking about it with you guys. So that's 2 hours. For me to really understand this report, I need another 3 to 4 hours in this report to really drill down in. But you know what? You know what's going to happen? Even if I spend 4 hours on this report, I know what I'm going to find. I know what cryptos are good. What I'm trying to do is for brand new people to show you, without me making shit up, is to show you a report, a global economic report, and you can look at that report on your own time. You can read it on your own time. What my job was now in the 45 minutes of going over this report or whatever I did was to show you what the World Economic Forum, the people that are going to run the whole world, what's going down and what crypto are they going to use. I showed now I use by memory because I'm not going to be popping up all these references and paid. I'm not going to do all that. If you watch my show enough, you know that everything that I said, if this is a Ripple partner, that you know that is true. If you watch my show, I'm always popping up the articles with BIS Ripple partner on the test. I show all the evidence. But today, I can't do that and do a show. This show would take about 2 hours if I did that. And I'm not trying to do that to myself. It's too painful. I think we get the point that from what I've shown now, yeah, there's some Ethereum usage in there. But the problem is even they acknowledge it does not working. And I showed you already with the Ethereum in there, it's not interoperable. They show Ethereum, and then like the next paragraph, they start talking about interoperability. And we all know that that's not Ethereum. And then they start talking about Swift and shit. So we all know the veterans on my channel already know what cryptos are going to work. Brand new people, I just wanted to show you a 63-page report, go over some of it. We finished a lot of it. We finished a good enough portion. And there's things in there that I missed and connections I didn't see, of course, because I only got so much time. But I think you get the point that when you watch Crypto Hulk show, you're not going to miss out. I don't catch 100%. But you know what? You don't need to catch 100%. If you watch the show, you're going to have a really, really good idea of fact-based cryptos that if you want to invest in, I'd say go for it, you know. Every crypto that I brought up today, I told you who they related to, what are they working with. Any of those would be great investments. But let me check the comments because somebody, I think Stu Lavelle gave 10 people memberships. We got Kate, received a membership by Stu Lavelle, Meow. Robert Russell, Nelson Concepts Incorporated, also known as Chuck, got a membership by Stu Lavelle. Van Smith, King Arthur, Dirt Road Trucker, Silver Shire got a membership by Stu Lavelle, and Simone Purnell. Let me look at these comments. Can you do another episode on this? Says Joshua Joseph. I mean, maybe tonight I can do the other part that we didn't go over. Let me take a look. We stopped at about page 40, so there is like 23 more pages. Eric Goldsmith. Where is Eric Goldsmith? Yeah, I'm still Eric Goldsmith. Thank you very much for that tax-free donation. Do you think Davina Snyder says, do you think Bluezell is still valuable? I saw that Polygon was a partner too. Yeah, Bluezell, look. Okay, look. I don't predict Roman candles. All right. Bluezell, I'll tell you what the Bluezell is again, because nobody on the internet's talking about it. Bluezell has been a Ripple partner since day one. Bluezell has been using Ripple's technology from day one, 2013-14, okay? It's called the International Ripple Business Association. What Ripple did is go throughout the world and strategically hit up certain countries first to give them the Ripple technology that they needed to prepare for the future of finance. So what Bluezell is a company that Ripple worked with in the very beginning. Ripple found some kind of value with Bluezell. I don't know what it was, but they work on like protecting ownership rights and stuff for artists primarily. That's what Bluezell does. Ripple wanted to show what might happen. Look, I'm not Zoltar like this guy right here. Hold on, let's play with the toy a little bit.
I see you over there. Yes, you. Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune. You may have heard this, but Zoltar is here to tell you you can believe it. Age is simply a matter of mind. If you don't mind, then my friend, it doesn't matter. So go on, be carefree like a little baby. But first, give Zoltar a little money, and I will give you a fortune.
See, all this dude wants is money. And you can put coins in there and it works. So that is I got it at a company called Creative. Let me look it up. It's out of Las Vegas. Characters Unlimited. Yeah, Characters Unlimited. Okay, I'll give you the link right now. Zoltar. That thing's so fucking cool. I love it. It's $200, by the way. The eyes move and the head and the hands. So it's a pretty neat little toy. So there's the link right there. So the Bluesell question somebody asked, so Ripple in 10 years ago had something called the International Ripple Business Association. Yeah, my video had no interruptions at all. That's really fucking strange. They're definitely censoring stuff. They know on a deep dive, they're not going to censor shit because maybe what I'm saying is not hitting off a lot of, I don't know, whatever sensitive stuff. Yesterday's show, when I went over, oh shit, the DTCC with Ripple and sell, I had so much fucking spam yesterday, all kinds of crazy shit. I had to start, you won't believe, it was just unbelievable. Yesterday's show, the bots and the amount of spam was, I think I set a record. I must have cleaned out spam for about an hour and a half yesterday. It was just absolutely fucking nuts. If moderators wanted to help at all with that, I'd greatly appreciate cleaning out spam. But so what happened with the Bluesell is that Ripple started this association 10 years ago, and Ripple picked companies that they thought they'd have a great chance transforming the world. Okay. So Bluesell is a company that helps musicians. Now, what might happen in the future is when this crypto takes off, Bluesell is already there, like first mover advantage, right? So when companies and artists want to protect their work, Bluesell's already got their system up for sale, and that all will take off. So I don't know if like Bluesell is going to change the world, but it's going to change the world of artists and how they collect and control their work, and nobody can steal copyrights and shit like that. There must have been a reason why Ripple hooked them up. Okay, that's a Canadian company. Now, what's interesting is Bluesell, because in America we have something called Zelle, and it's it's how you move money around the world. At least through the top 20 banks in America have something called Zelle. Now, I don't know if there's any relationship between the two. It sounds very interesting, like there is Zelle and Bluesell, because it's all dealing with the same banks and Ripple and all that shit. So the Bluesell is just something I threw out there, that it's still a Ripple partner, and it's a crypto that nobody knows about that's linked in with Ripple. So, I mean, I threw it out there if people wanted to invest in it or not. I haven't got it. I'm not against it or whatever. I just put that out there for something that somebody might want to invest in that's cheap, that who knows what it ends up at one day. I have no idea. The BLZ, if you want to find Bluesell on Caleb and Brown, it's BLZ. Boy Lincoln Zebra, BLZ. let's. Yeah, Chainlink is a Ripple partner, so they're close and tight. Quant's not linked up with Ripple that I know of. Chainlink is. So, hey, if you're a Ripple partner,
I am Zoltar, the Great Gypsy, and I can see your fortune. Come see it too, no?
Come see it too, no? It just says it at random. Usually I turn it off. But he'll just say shit at random like every 5 minutes or something. It's just like a casino. Now I can put it on motion sensor, so in the casinos, like if somebody walks by Zoltar, it sets him off. Or the casino can have it set to where just every 5 minutes he says something and lights up really quick and turns off. But yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Demon Slayer's like, now that you have Zoltar, you can do price predictions like simp channels. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get I got to call up the manufacturer or the place I got it from because the tickets are not printing out and I don't know why. So when I do that, now I do have one ticket. So in the future, I'll read off my price predictions. Zoltar has to issue it first. To be official, it has to come out of Zoltar from Zoltar, and then I'll read the prediction on what prices I think are going to happen based on what Zoltar has told me. So there you go. Now, remember, we only went through 40 pages of this. Now, tonight, fuck it. Tonight, I'll do the other 23 pages. It should be fairly quick, maybe 15 minutes, and I can go through the rest of the report. So if there's cryptos that you wanted to know, are they in the report? I mean, I'll look through it. And then tonight, what time? About 5 o'clock p.m. Right now, it's about 8 o'clock a.m. In California, Pacific time. So Joshua Joseph says, from what I understand, Quant is like the Windows operating system for interoperability. Hey, man, I don't know. It's ISO. That's all that I know. And I'm just reading out of a report, and maybe they're using Quant. I don't know. But so far, I haven't seen any indication of that. So we still have the rest of the report to go through. So you never know. But I'll look through this again later today and have some more good stuff for us. And other than that, I think I'll end this episode out. I'll see y'all in my next broadcast.